DTC Live On Air is powered by Bright Pill by Sage. In this episode, I'm going to be talking to Matt and Stephen, co-founders of Beast, which is a sports nutrition brand. We're going to be talking about the highs and lows of entrepreneurship, how they managed to get from one business to another, what it's like to be working with your friend of 25 years, and so much more. So hopefully you enjoy this one. Thanks so much, guys. Welcome, Matt. Welcome, Stephen. Really excited to have you both on here. So for people that don't know about Beast or haven't heard about it before, tell us a little bit about the brand and what you guys do.
It's a supplement / sports accessory brand, co-founded by us and Eddie Hall, Horse Ringsman. We offer premium sports nutrition products and fitness equipment, basically.
Yeah, because we've done various things over the last 15 years, and this was kind of a culmination of that. So for the first time, we bootstrapped different businesses since we were like around the 2010 mark, and then younger when we were kids, but more casual stuff. And then worked with Eddie Hall that he just mentioned, who's the main face of the brand. He came to us just over 3 years ago. We'd already been working with him since about 2014, so we've known him a long time.
Yeah.
Worked with him on and off on different projects, sponsorships. He invested in one of our other brands, and then came to us. He was ready. At the time, he was sponsored by MyProtein, but he always wanted to get stuck in and build something himself.
Yeah.
But he needed help, he acknowledges that. So we kind of put a team together.
Yeah, I think he was at the point where he'd been sponsored by multiple brands for years and years and years, and like the demands were getting a bit ridiculous. Like, oh, we need you to film a video with buddy ears on in a sauna, like clucking like a chicken. And he's like, I've got 3 million YouTube subscribers, 6 million Instagram followers. I'm not like a paid monkey.
Yeah.
So he wanted to launch his own brand, basically. And obviously he's always focused on his sporting career.
And build something it was never his before. Build something he could endorse, like 100%.
And truly believe in.
Yeah. And obviously
not compromise, which it doesn't matter how good the brand is, you're never going to align 100% with what they're trying to sell.
No.
And there's always going to be a bit of friction. So if you're in a position to do your own thing, which a lot of people are doing now, especially influencers, then why not? But yeah, you have to get all the other pieces of the pie together. It's not enough to just be an influencer anymore.
No. There's too much around e-com, isn't there, and all the different moving parts. And
yeah.
So how long have you two known each other then?
Year 7, but mate since about year 8 probably. So
yeah, 25, 26 years.
And would you recommend going into business with best friends or?
Absolutely not. Keep it separate.
So what do you think's kind of made your journey either different or what have you kind of learned along the way? What's some of the biggest lessons been since you've been growing? I mean, this is a newer brand of yours, isn't it?
Yeah.
Beast. You've had others in the past.
Yeah. So a quick step. So I was in the army, joined the army in 2006, pretty much. Well, went to school together, went to sixth form together, briefly went to university for 3 months.
3 months.
And then we jacked it in.
In a kebab shop.
Yeah, the night before we had to go back for January term.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were still at a kebab shop after playing poker till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, and then
the pound kebab shop in Oldham, we decided our futures.
The coursework had to be we had a Christmas project to do that had to be in the day after, and we were just yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, it's not.
I just never went back and spent all my student loan on a motorbike, as you do, which I've just finished paying off on my self-assessment this year.
Well done.
30 years later.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and then we both had an epiphany, this isn't working. We're not going to stick this out for 3 years. We want to go do something. We always wanted businesses, but I wasn't ready yet. I was 19. I needed a job, and I'm always interested in joining the army. So I decided there and then to do that. Yeah. And he decided to go to Egypt. And then, so I'd been in a few years and I'd seen an opportunity for so you're on tour. If you're lucky enough to get any downtime and you're on a big enough, you don't get much, but you're in the gym, you're working out, there's nothing much to do out there. So you want your protein, you maybe want pre-workout, maybe hydration. There wasn't as much choice as there is now back then. But it was hard to get. You might, on some of the bigger camps, you might get a little shop, it's got a naffy. You're getting your confectionery, you're getting your shower gels, stuff like that. And there might be a couple of tubs of protein, but they're gone as soon as they land. So, but in the meantime, everyone was getting these welfare parcels. Family were sent, you could send a 2 kilo shoebox for free. Just go to the post office, drop it off.
FPO post.
And depending where you were, you normally get it in a week. You know, some remote places you might have to wait a few weeks, but most people could get stuff within a week. I was like, hang on a minute, well, there's no shipping here, and there's a demand. So came back off tour, looked for wholesalers, found out about this thing called drop shipping. So did that whilst I was in the army. Then I basically somehow was running both. At one point I was in Afghan on a little 10-inch tablet, trying to get onto a little scrap of Wi-Fi, doing my orders I was receiving on the website. It wasn't automatic. I had to then process all those with the wholesaler.
Yeah.
Putting all the order details on a little 10-inch tablet, split into 2 screens and copying the one line of the address at the time, just make sure the orders were getting through to the wholesaler. But managed it, but as realised, you know, maybe this has got the potential. It was doing okay. Started as a bit of a project, but showed potential, decided to leave. I remember coming back from Afghan and I had, I think, 7 weeks leave, because I didn't have any leave whilst I was there. I did the full 6 months, so I had a bit more when I got back. And spent the whole time just building eBay listings to sell at cost. So I worked out all the prices. I was just being as competitive as possible. I didn't care about making money on eBay. That was the way to get cheaper prices for the dropshipping website.
Yeah.
But then, by that point, you were coming back, you were looking for something to do.
Yeah.
He was the one that got me into training in the gym originally, because your dad was a big bodybuilder guy.
Yeah.
So we've both been into the gym, both been interested in sports nutrition, and I was like, I need help. I can't do this by myself anymore.
So that's when I teamed up with Matt. I said, I'm coming back to the UK. I've got some cash. I'll put it into the business. Let's do something. So I moved back then with my new wife and moved into his parents' house and slept in his old bedroom with his Lego and his tank and his toys.
My Buffy
Still
my
look
Buffy
the same
posters.
as from when you left it.
And his Transformers bedding. And basically I lived with his mum and dad for 6 months while we built a shop.
Bricks and mortar.
Yeah,
bricks and mortar, first store.
By this point, like, the drop shipping the algorithm had changed on Google, so up until then, the main marketing method, the main digital marketing method was SEO. SEO was the thing back then, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was playing some agency in Manchester, probably £500 a month, which is a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
To do God knows what, but it was working at the time. And then was it a Penguin update or something?
And I remember seeing the traffic on
I was showing
Google
him that they weren't.
just go boom.
We had not teamed up yet. We were, I think, potentially discussing it.
Yeah.
And everything just dropped off.
You could literally see it was like Penguin update on this date, and the traffic on Google Analytics just went.
And that was my paid sales. My organic was still there, but that had started to dip because Iraq had dropped off by then. Afghan was starting to slow down, and I started to realise the military market's not a big enough niche for this anymore. Plus, I was based in Oldham. It's not a big military place, and we were teaming up, so we'll rebrand it, we'll open a shop. I'd started holding more stock myself anyway, because the drop shipping was getting more competitive.
Yeah.
So I started taking advantage of good volume pricing, so we inevitably ended up holding stock. That was the start.
In your spare bedroom with like 2 plastic.
So we needed
racks.
a unit, and I was like, we can't pay for the unit by itself. We need to sell out the unit, so we need to get a shop. So we turned it into a shop, and then we did a lot of B2B, but B2C was always the main effort. But that's when we started doing Amazon properly. When you could do Amazon yourself. But we were pretty good at Amazon, because we did spend 90% of our time on it in between serving customers. We were between us.
Yeah.
You could find all these little.
So you mastered like the marketplace platform before.
I wouldn't say mastered it, but you didn't need the level of expertise you need.
It's
just kind of similar to eBay. If you had a good product at a good price.
So Amazon's become such a science-based, analytics, data-driven platform now that it's so competitive, it's so cutthroat. But back then, all you needed was you didn't even need to bother making a listing. You could put a picture on. Coenzyme Q10 60 caps, $9.99. Someone would go and search for it and buy it. Like, we used to add a product on Amazon, and all of a sudden you start selling 10 a day. So we started buying stuff from the States. It was a really weird time, because even then
we were early, so we were getting, none of the brands that were around then were really aware of direct commerce or Amazon. They were still very stuck in the B2B model. They'd sell it to a distributor, and then we'd buy it off the distributor.
So we had wholesale accounts with big brands like Grenade, PhD. Back in the day, we'd buy wholesale, a couple of pallets at a time, sell it on Amazon. Then the brands kind of got approached by, this was an Amazon vendor started launching. So Amazon vendor were like, hold on a minute, these guys are selling 30 grand of this product a month. We'll just contact the manufacturer direct.
Yeah.
So all your middlemen on Amazon got cut out, pretty sharpish. Like, the amount of times we just have an email or a phone call saying, yeah, we're not supplying you anymore. And we're like, that's 20% of our revenue gone. But at the time we had a physical store with an office with storage. So we had people coming in all the time with
fighting the way. It got to a point where Amazon was taking over and customers were fighting their way through pallets because we were barcoding up all the stock for Amazon and the UPS driver was coming through the door.
And then you just word of mouth in the gym, and I mean the shop was doing probably 20 grand a month through football.
It paid our wages basically.
Yeah. And then that gave us volume.
Got to a point where it wasn't massive money, but we were making pretty easy money off Amazon because we were getting the stock straight from the wholesale on a pallet, sticking a barcode on the outer carton. Because at one point you could pay, it worked out the volume, you could pay Amazon 15p to put the ASIN sticker on. It wasn't worth us doing 1,000 units to just pay Amazon. So it got to a point where shrink wrap pallets were turning up. We were just sticking a barcode on the outer carton, re-shrinking it, sending it to UPS, and like, the brands are going to figure out how to do this themselves.
And they did.
This is a limited.
But you maximised what you could from
for
it
now,
during that time.
We need our own brand really because it's going to get. We can see now nobody really uses it. There's very few models that work like that.
Yeah.
Like most B2C is direct to the brand now, and we just ended up doing all these different things and all this different experience between us. So when going full circle back to Eddie, when he was like, "I'm ready to start my own business," we had that broad experience in sports nutrition, which is great, but we could tap into people with better knowledge than us, which is when we asked Rick Foster if he wanted to come involved, and he was going to be the subject matter expert on the sports nutrition, the formulas. We kind of had the more broad day-to-day running the business, Amazon, management, inventory, supply chain, and then Alex, Eddie's brother, so that's the five of us.
Gosh, there's 5.
Yeah.
So there's 5 of us,
Wow.
In Beast now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically because for the 12 years we were running Alpha and the sports nutrition business before we launched Beast, we'd made so many mistakes. Like the number of days we were like, yeah, we're done. Or
just the pros and cons, like you were talking about 3PL before we started recording, like the pros and cons of 3PL.
Yeah.
Someone starting a business now might just assume they have to start using a 3PL on day one.
Yeah, we knew not to do that straight away because of past experience and costs and the nature of our business as well.
Yeah, it depends on the business model.
But we also knew pitfalls, we knew, and even then we still made mistakes in this business because you're constantly learning.
Yeah.
But when we launched Beast, we sat there for an hour, we had a whiteboard, and we made a list of maybe 50, 60 tasks. And within 6 weeks, we had them all ticked off. Registering for European tax, getting an EORI number, which stung us early on. We imported a container of them from Egypt. Random customs agent called us on like the 27th of December while everything was closed.
This was right in the early days, our very first imported container.
Oh, your container's here. We need to clear it for you. Can you send us a delivery address? And your EORI number.
EORI number.
Which is basically a import number for VAT purposes. And we were like, a what? And they were like, EORI number.
So now when you start a business, you're issued one automatically. But when I started the business in 2010, it wasn't...
You had to apply for it.
You had to apply for it. We didn't know until customs asked us for it.
It took about 10 days, so we applied for it instantly. It took 10 days. But those 10 days, we had a 40-foot container in the port being charged storage daily by the cubic metre. So we got a bill for about $3,000 for storage that we didn't anticipate. So it's those little things. So within 6 weeks, we'd had 10 years worth of experience. We just had everything ticked off. We set up courier accounts, we set up IOSS, we set up everything that you needed to. It was a business out of a box, basically.
Doesn't mean it's going to work, but at least you can maybe hit the ground running a little bit and give yourself the best possible chance.
Because early on, you don't know what you don't know. Like, there's no one out there saying,
this is what you need to do. This is your rule book for running a business.
And we've always joked about writing a book about business, not because we're massively successful or gurus. It'd probably be really boring, but it's not until you start having conversations like this. A lot of people, especially a lot of young people, will start a business, and there's so many pitfalls.
Yeah.
Like the amount of people you say the word trademark to, and they're like, "What?"
But in some ways, it's easier than ever because you've got ChatGPT now, you've got Grok. You can ask
AI.
You never had that. In some ways, it seems daunting because it seems like everything's been done.
Yeah.
But now you've got these force multipliers, to use a military term, like AI when I was a one-man band 15 years ago, if I had that to automate...
You could have done anything, couldn't you?
The days I spent doing manual spreadsheets to work out my eBay. But then everyone's got access to that as well.
We're only still here today because we just didn't give up.
Yeah.
And you can have all the knowledge in the world, you can have the best product in the world, and you can have AI and Grok doing all these calculations and spreadsheets and the best celebrity in the world, but if you quit, you fail. Like, I don't know how.
It wasn't an option.
Yeah, we just didn't stop.
Especially as time goes on, you get mortgages. We had
Kids.
no qualifications. There was nothing we could go back to, fall back on. So it's like, we have to make this work.
Yeah.
We did have a
Long periods of not being paid because the business comes first. We got our first warehouse staff, that was always a big goal because we were doing everything. We thought if we could just make enough to get one person in the warehouse to take away some of this,
Yeah.
it would be a massive leverage for us, and it was. That's when things really started to change. But then the pressure's on. Now someone's counting on you. It's not just you two anymore.
No.
Mucking about like a couple
You're
of kids.
responsible for their life, their home.
Yeah.
Like we were
everything.
both. Yeah, we were struggling, but we both had partners that were earning. You could get by on one person's, but now we're hiring people, and it's like that's scary. And he was a friend, basically. Joel was our first employee. He was a friend from being a kid. So that again hired another friend, which usually you wouldn't recommend, but again that's perfect.
I've only had good experience hiring people that I know.
That's it. You live in the real world. We were nowhere near ready to hire someone officially, so obviously it's a bit of cash in hand.
Yeah.
Come and help us out in the warehouse. We got a big job. And then before we knew it, he was there pretty much every day. We realised how much we were getting done.
Yeah.
It's like, right now we need to hire him full time. That's a big step.
Yeah, because we'd come into the office first thing in the morning, quickly check any customer service emails, then we'd stand in a freezing cold warehouse for 3 hours packing parcels, then go to the post office to post them because we didn't have a courier account. At
We
the
didn't
time.
have enough volume to. Yeah.
And then we opened a courier account, so we got our mail collected. We had a warehouse guy packing them, so you could spend more time in the office doing marketing and coming up with campaigns. And I think people underestimate what's actually involved when you don't have a member of staff. Like we did every single job. Like I remember we before Joel started, we got a big private label order for jugs to Australia. It was like 9,000 bottles. We had to build every single bottle.
Oh my god.
Took me in 3 weeks.
3 weeks every day. On top of
About 6 hours a day.
On top of customer service, packing the parcels, going to the doing all the other things involved, and then you get a £40,000 order, private label, which you didn't expect. And it's like, oh, how are we going to do this?
Imagine we could just spend an hour, get one more of those orders if we weren't stood in the warehouse order. That's the thinking behind
But you've
it.
been you're completely bootstrapped, haven't you? You've never taken investment or.
Not until 2021. So the company that I started in 2010, the dropshipping company, the company stayed the same. We just basically
Rebranded.
transitioned into Alpha Designs, the brand. We'd already been working with Eddie, so we started working with Eddie. I think he had about 5,000 followers on Facebook. We'd followed Strongman anyway. So we were just looking for a few authentic people to kind of help us push. Because Instagram was starting to become a thing with all your ambassadors and everything. And he was up for it. And when we started sponsoring him, that was when he'd got enough sponsors by then to quit his job and do Strongman full time. He was still a full time HGV mechanic.
Yeah.
Imagine what goes into being a professional strongman now with all the nutrition, the recovery, and doing a 12-hour day HGV mechanic job with kids. And that's when he really started to succeed because he could just concentrate on that. And then we'd worked with them on and off. And then 2020, Eddie invested.
Yeah, that was our first.
Just before COVID.
So we bought a share of the bit. Yeah, it was like December 19. And then March 19, obviously COVID hit, and we were like, we're fucked. They've just closed all the gyms. We sell to people who go to the gyms. We're screwed. But revenue quadrupled.
We just hired our first staff as well.
Yeah, and my wife was pregnant.
Oh God.
We went through 9 months of not getting paid because the business was going through a bit of a dip. We'd hired Joel, so we were paying him. We went through almost a year without taking a wage. My wife was pregnant at the time. And you're getting out of bed in the morning, you're like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing? Like, the number of days you get out of bed and you think, fuck this. Let's just go and get a job.
What
then
do
the
you think
opposite happened.
keeps you from going so
But
when
then the
you're in
opposite
those
happened. COVID, all of a sudden the website just took off.
Do you think if it had carried on for longer, would there have ever been a point where you're like, oh no, this is not for me anymore? I want out. Because it is stressful.
No, because overall we've enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Overall, it's just
You just got to take the
rough with the smooth.
Yeah,
you've got to enjoy it. So along the way, we've got a lot of travelling out of it. We've been to China, Vegas a couple of times. Well, you've been to China a lot more than I have.
Yeah.
Dubai, all over Europe, expos. We've met a lot of people, built a good network, which is another essential thing. Building that network out. Now more important than ever, I think, because everyone's just living in their own little bubbles.
Yeah.
And I think
On the screens, not meeting real people. And that's like we did the Gran Canaria event. How many people did you meet?
Yeah. That you wouldn't have necessarily had them connections.
And you don't know when someone's going to be... It's not about someone being relevant and useful to you.
No.
It might be someone... It's that network effects of... It might not be him. It might be someone they know.
Yeah.
That's more important than ever.
And like I said, it's just not quitting. That's it. And we also always joke about this, especially my wife likes to take the mick out of me, but I'm completely unemployable. I'd last 30 seconds in an office because I'd just say, fuck off.
Yeah.
And I'd be fired instantly. He's ex-military.
I was going to say, like, because I feel like when you're an entrepreneur, like, you often do it because, not often because of this, but one of the reasons is that you want to be your own boss. Like, you don't really like being told what to do by anyone. Like, yeah, so how did you cope, like, in the military?
I think you find a lot of ex-military people either go self-employed or contract work.
Okay.
I think there's something we struggle to fit into.
Yeah.
Other, because we've been so regimented and institutionalized into one specific hierarchical, is that a word? Structure.
Yeah.
You struggle to then fit into another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you want to break free a little bit
I've got some friends that work in big organisations and stuff, but on the whole, they'll orient towards military. And if they are, there's like BT, for example, a lot of military guys go there, but it'll be in a department that's very heavily ex-military.
Yeah.
But on the whole, I think you struggle to, after you've done the whole taking orders thing, you're like, yeah, I'm done with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do think after, like, I hate to use the word entrepreneur, but working for yourself since, am I 39 now? 23, 16 years. Going back into a...
You'd never be able to.
That's what terrifies me, actually. That's what keeps you going. That's what keeps you going. It's like, I could probably go and get a job, but I wouldn't last, and I'd hate it. And the commute, and I don't know, like, I just...
Even the worst day you have, at least you're doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
And you're going to get the benefit out of it. It might suck when you're doing it, but you're getting that delayed gratification eventually.
Yeah.
Even your worst days are going to be.
Yeah, it also, as well, you never feel like you've made it. Well, not that we've made it, but to some people we might have done.
Yeah, your successes are up there compared to for other people.
Yeah, but it's kind of the boiling frog analogy, because you're in it every day. You don't really notice how well you're doing.
Yeah.
Because it's just another day.
And are you always like setting like new goals, new targets? Like, are you ever just happy where you are, or is it like, right, what's next?
Everything changes so quick. That's why you can never relax, because everything changes. Like a website, my first website, I don't think I refreshed it. I did anything for a year.
No.
And it was a bespoke built by some web developer, and I sent him what I wanted to do, and then he charged me a bill for about 800 quid. And charging you for everything. And now the website, that's constant. It's evolving. It's changing.
You just taught yourself
minute by minute, constant
you
updates.
Have to.
Like, we've been using Shopify since 2013, and back then it was so basic.
Yeah.
And it's just slowly grown into a more and more complex system. Now it's got AI where you can build custom blocks by telling this website what you want. I want a banner at the top that counts down a 10-day counter that ends at midnight on February the 12th, and it builds it for you.
Yeah.
I've just taken work from a web developer that would have charged me 500 quid to do that. But so you kind of just...
Are you worried that you're missing out on a sales channel that everyone's banging on about? Because everyone bangs on about TikTok.
Yeah.
And be honest, we're not doing anything on TikTok.
Oh, we tried.
We tried.
I think our products are too expensive for it. Like, what we found is TikTok sub 20 quid.
Yeah.
So 15 quid in impulse purchases. Like, TikTok issues like the top 50 best-selling products on there, and it's stuff like on-counter ice maker, like stick-on eyelashes, washing powder, stuff like that. But when you're trying to sell a premium sports nutrition product, people just don't want it. Like, there are a couple of sports nutrition products in the top 50, but like a $9.99 fat burner, and then you look at the ingredients, and it's salt and caffeine. That costs 12p to make. It's not a fat burner, and a bit of green tea.
So what are like your biggest channels that you're on now then, would you say? It's like the biggest, right? Still Amazon?
I think the website's still...
yeah.
I think it's about 60-40 website Amazon. Depends on the month.
Yeah.
Like, coming up to Christmas, Amazon was chaos because of Black Friday and gifting and stuff. But yeah, they're about on par, to be fair, I think.
I think Amazon will pull ahead, no matter how successful the website is.
And is that because it's costing you more to acquire new customers coming to the site, or like, is there more focus on Amazon?
The problem with Amazon is the volume and the margins. Whatever you do, the margins are shrinking on Amazon. Yeah. Especially now they're holding on to 7 days of your sales as cash flow. So that's something people don't necessarily think about. I'll start selling on Amazon. They're going to hold on to 7 days worth of turnover.
So you're doing 100 grand a month, for example, Amazon, you got 25 grand sunk in Amazon. And if your margin's 10, that's 2.5 times your monthly profits.
Yeah. Just
sat in Amazon for people who want to return something. So Amazon can take the money back off you. That never used to be the case. but that's only the last 12 months. You used to be able to empty your wallet daily, but now you have a week's worth of revenue sat there.
There's always that like concern as well. Like we was talking about Amazon before, like how the listings, it's not your customer that you're holding. Like, does it ever make you worry that so much of the business is on that platform? Like, do you want to try and bring it more DTC?
Ideally.
Yeah.
Ideally, yeah, because with early on when we were selling on Amazon policies change instantly, and they'll just turn the product off.
DTC Live On Air is powered by Bright Pill by Sage. Just to kind of go back to like Beast and where that's at now, like how's that growth been? Has it been on the incline? Has it been organic? Has it been paid? Like what's kind of driven that piece?
Combination of both.
Again, through experience and what we've done for so long and the quality of the products, we've kind of almost done what most sports nutrition brands take 5, 8, 10 years to do in 2. Like, we're probably I'm not going to say one of the independent, so forget your MyProtein or bulk powder, these multinationals, but your small independent nutrition brands, we're probably in the top 5 biggest in the UK now.
Yeah.
And that's within 2 years. Because we had so much experience and we knew the market, we knew what products needed to be made, what they needed to be, the quality that they needed to be.
We had the knowledge to make sure the supplements stood up to, because the other problem with Eddie is any public figure, you get your haters, people are going to critique. I mean, he agreed with it right from the start, but we always said, we've seen the supplement industry, we've seen people do cheap products. We could never sit there and sell something that we wouldn't take ourselves.
No. And
he understood that. But it is a more difficult business model because it is harder to go and sell a product with a higher cost of goods. And maybe that product doesn't taste as good as the alternative or the competing products that's just electrolytes and flavourings.
Yeah.
When you actually use big doses of some of these ingredients, don't taste particularly nice. But we said we need the credibility. You're not known as a sports scientist, and you're an athlete. We need a bit of credibility when it comes to the formulas and the products. Now, we've been around, we know what works and what doesn't. Then we've got Rick Foster, who owns another brand, called Strong,
which is a very
high-end premium.
Yeah, for athletes, basically, for like bodybuilders, powerlifters, strongmen. It's a very specific product. It's not like mass market, everyday gym rat kind of product. They've got very specific uses. But he's very clued up on ingredients, dosages. So basically, a lot of stuff you'll see, a creatine's 100 servings, because a serving size is 3 grams, but it only becomes efficacious at 5 grams. So you can take 3 grams, but it's not enough. But 3 grams is enough to make the scientific claim. So you'll see a product that'll say, creatine improves strength. You can only put that on if you've got 3 grams per serving, but you need 5. But people use 3 because it's cheaper. Mm-hmm. So our product has got 5 grams of creatine in it, because even though you only need to do 3, we can't do 3 because people are going to say to us, why have you put 3 grams in? It needs to be 5. So as a brand, we have to offer what we know works. And these days, there's so many Instagram, TikTok pages out there who'll rip a formula apart.
Yeah.
He'll say, this product's just been released by Eddie Hall. It's underdosed on this, this, and this, and this, and this. And it's transferred for $34.99. It's shit, don't buy it. So,
and there's not like an easy way to recover from that when it's so public.
And it's not like you couldn't sell some stuff. You probably, in the short term, sell more. But it's not sustainable business.
But because of who
you're not
Eddie
getting
is,
rebuys, you're not getting organic sales, you're not
got
getting word of mouth.
Back.
Yeah.
He's got that.
People are going to want him to fail.
Because of who he is.
Yeah.
And now anyone I can go and buy a tub of protein from Holland & Barrett, send 20 quid to a lab and they'll test it and go, this is 12% protein, but it says 80% on it.
So have you built up the amount of testing and things that you do on your products to make sure that it's...
Yeah, so we've sent the products off to be tested and to make sure the manufacturer's putting in what we want.
Yeah.
And
all the supply chain is fully compliant, it's all made in the UK.
We source a lot of our ingredients ourselves. So we're making an omega-3 product. It's the highest concentration omega-3 product you can buy, basically, in the UK. But the oil that's in those capsules has been specifically manufactured by us. Not by us, but for us, at the factory. Sealed, shipped to a factory over here, and then put into capsules. And we know the supply chain. We know exactly what's in those oils. So you only have to take one of our capsules compared to 3 or 4 of somebody else's. It's got a higher price point. It's $34.99 for 90 days. But to get the same amount of oil, you probably spend 100 on 7Cs, for example.
Then it's how do you relay all that information to the customer when they're looking at Amazon and you've got
Yeah.
a second
They just
of
see
attention
price.
and you just see price.
I was listening to a podcast before that was from another supplement like founder, and it was kind of talking about a similar thing, like, you know, we spend all this money on research, like science, like all of the knowledge, and sometimes it's not at the forefront of like the consumer's mind until it is.
Oh, so my friend sent me I sent this to our like group chat the other day. It was a female orientated product. Anyway, it's $34.99. And he said, "Oh, my wife's thinking about buying this. What do you think?" And it was garbage. It was 3 grams of creatine, a sprinkle of collagen, some Himalayan pink salt, because everyone needs Himalayan pink salt.
Has to be
It
Himalayan.
has to be.
An absorption ingredient called estrogen at 30 milligrams, even though it needs to be 50 milligrams. Anyway, the product cost nothing to make, and it's $34.99 for 30 servings. I said to him, mate, it's fucking dog shit. It's literally nothing. It sells like 5,000 units a month on Amazon.
But it's the packaging, it's the
It's
people
pink,
endorsing
it's got a nice little white logo on it, and it's just like...
optimized to death.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's like,
Which, I get it. It's
Yeah.
Because people want it to look pretty or look nice, like in their homes, like it's got to be
Yeah.
aesthetic as well.
Or
But is
Davina
it
McCall says it's good, so it must be good.
Yeah.
Not that she's that brand, but for example, there's
yeah, if there's a celebrity saying it, then it's like it doesn't matter.
the amount of products that
there's no longevity in the brand.
No.
because
You want
at
it to build
some
something.
point...
You don't want to walk into work and fight every day. Fight for more sales. Right, can we do 45% discount today? We did 40% last week, and we only got this many sales.
So
So we
we
need to
d-
hit this target. Let's do 45%. It's just you can't win.
So
You
we do
can't.
one sale a year. We have a 10% discount code which runs throughout the year because we have like an affiliate scheme and
Yeah.
things like that, and we'll whatever for our email marketing and stuff. But we don't really discount. We do Black Friday,
Subscriptions. You know.
and we try to upsell rather than downsell. Rather than going, it's 30% off for Black Friday. It's actually you spend 50 quid, you get this.
Yeah.
Rather than going, you spend 50 quid, you get 30% off. It's you spend 50 quid, you get something for 20 quid for free.
Yeah.
Because obviously your cost of goods might be a fiver. So we try to, rather than, because once you discount, you're screwed.
And
Yeah.
Black Friday feels different now. I don't know what you've spoken to other brands about this year. Black Friday just felt a lot of brands just seem to be writing it off next year. A lot did this year, I think.
I feel like we go like through like peaks and troughs with Black Friday. Like some people are all in. Like a few years ago, it was everyone was boycotting it. We're not doing it, and then it's
Yeah.
like, oh, we have to do it because everyone else is doing it.
Yeah.
But then you've got some brands like Adenola that like just don't participate at all, and the sales will still be on the increase because
Yeah.
people are shopping. They need it for gifting.
Yeah, I think for us now, like I said, we tend to not discount. We try to give
I think
things
like
away.
gift with purchases is like a nice way, and you want to reward your customers and your community for
Yeah,
shopping with you,
within
and
the
that's something that
competition.
they're looking forward to.
So we give away like one of our main prizes. We put a golden ticket with every ordering over Black Friday, and the first prize was a day with Eddie. You'll ride around in his tank. He'll take you for dinner. You'll go train with him. It's priceless. It's a priceless prize
Yeah.
basically
For someone, yeah.
for someone. Rather than discount, because once you discount, you're screwed.
And like, are your customers like? I imagine you've got a bit of a mix. Is it fans of Eddie? Is it bodybuilders? Like, or are you wanting to open it out a bit more and kind of like focus on the science, the facts, so that someone that is, you know, training in the gym, like could be me, like would it still be a suitable product for me to
Yeah.
take?
So early on, we used Eddie's leverage massively. Socials, YouTube, Instagram, to get that initial
Just recognition.
yeah
Yeah.
recognition.
Just give you that
basically.
bit of credibility. There's so many faceless brands out there now.
Even before we launched, we always said, in 3 to 5 years, I want people buying the product who don't even know you are. So we want Beast to become an entity of itself rather than constantly linked to Eddie.
Yeah.
Like,
You stand on its own 2 feet.
yeah, like Anthony Joshua could have had a brand, but he could have died in Nigeria in that car crash. Then what? A famous strongman just passed away, sadly, before Christmas, just after Christmas of a heart attack. But he had his own brand. He had 700,000 followers. He's got 3 kids and he's 40. But what happens to his family now? Like, he was the breadwinner.
Yeah.
Whereas you need the brand to stand by itself on its own
Yeah.
2 feet.
If anything, in some ways, it's harder when you have that celebrity endorsement affiliation
Yeah.
because you have to keep high standards. It's
Yeah.
easy for faceless brands. If you're just Amazon, if you're just TikTok, you can get away with all kinds of
Yeah.
Yeah.
shenanigans and operate in the grey zones and underdose your products. So you can't do that when you've
We're
got...
trying to build the brand using Eddie's reach.
Yeah.
But then at some point, it needs to be a brand by itself.
That's built on
Yeah.
quality, like
It's
good
all
products,
credibility.
like that
there's-
actually work.
There's a famous American supplement brand called Gaspari Nutrition. Most people don't know it's founded by Rich Gaspari, who was a bodybuilder in the 80s.
That's one example where
the brand has surpassed the founder, because people just see Gaspari and go, oh, Gaspari is just a name of a supplement company.
Yeah.
But again, Labrada Nutrition, founded by Lee Labrada, who was a bodybuilder in the 90s. But now he makes like an RTD in a square box, like a small milk carton. It's like a 40-gram protein drink, but it's in every single CVS, Walmart,
GNC
outlet in the States,
everywhere.
doing hundreds of millions a year. But people say, oh, get a Labrada shake, not knowing that it was Lee Labrada, who was just a bodybuilder in the 90s, who founded it. So that's kind of where we kind of want to take the brand.
And do you work with other influencers, anyone else in this space, or are you kind of like solely reliant on Eddie as the celebrity influencer endorsement piece?
So we worked just after we launched, about a month after we launched, we signed a contract with Tom Aspinall,
UFC heavyweight champion.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You probably know that.
Yeah, I knew.
and he was great to work
I
with.
didn't.
Great lad, great to work with. But he's busy. He's training. He's fighting. He's getting pulled in different directions by huge companies, and he did everything we asked him to. He was great, but
I think influencer marketing is dead.
it's not dead. But can you get a better ROI
I
somewhere
think it's
else?
like more useful for like driving all
Brand
of
awareness.
like your ad creatives and
Yeah.
using it in that way as opposed to like generating sales. So I
Yeah,
think
so-
it's like for your awareness piece and
I definitely think it's more of a not frivolous, but like a luxury
Yeah.
ad spend. When you've got a finite marketing budget, which let's be honest, most people do, you've got to get the best ROI. You've got to get the most out of it. Now, it's the same thing with things like expos. We've done a lot of expos in the past, and they can work, they can not work.
and they're expensive to try, aren't they?
Yeah.
And I do. It's like networking. It's not a tangible. If I go to this networking breakfast, I'm going to
Yeah.
get a grand's worth of business out of it. It doesn't work like that.
No.
So physical events are the same, and it's kind of the same with getting an influencer like Tom Aspinall. It's that brand awareness and that building that network.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when you need to get
Revenue.
and you want to get email addresses, you want to get mobile numbers, you want to get social media followers, you don't get any of that really when you're not getting
Yeah.
that direct.
So this is kind of like the second iteration of Beast. So when back in 2021, when Eddie invested into Alpha Designs, we launched a Beast range of accessories with a slightly different logo. So we did like wrist wraps, lifting straps, and smelling salts, liquid chalk, branded bottles and jugs and stuff.
weightlifting belts, stuff
And
like that.
this was it was like February 2020, just before COVID. And back then, we say to Eddie, oh, Eddie, we've made a black bottle with a red logo on it with the word Beast on it. And Eddie, these have come out now, do you mind posting a story? So Eddie posted a story on his Instagram with a link to the product. You could literally see the traffic on the website go from 12 people to 300 people, and it'd stay there for 2 hours. And we'd go in on the next day and go, we've got 300 bottles to pack here to take to the post office. You'd post, you'd get sales, you'd post, you'd get sales, you'd post, you'd get sales. Now Meta want to keep on the platform. They don't want people clicking off. Like we analyse Eddie's analytics now on his stories.
Oh, they don't want it from an organic post, they want it from a sponsored post.
Yeah, which you've paid for. So for example, Eddie will post a picture holding his daughter on his story. He's got just shy of 6 million followers, I think. It might get 1 million views on his story. The next story will be, go and buy your shaker, here's a link, gets 12,000 views.
That's
0
wrong.
clicks.
Influence now, if anything, promoting brands is actually a detriment. If they're making income from the platform themselves, it's more detrimental to their income promoting third-party off-site things
So we have to
than
be
just
very
generating
specific
organic
with
content.
what we ask Eddie to post, because Eddie's like, when I post product, my algorithm my reach just drops off a cliff. Meta want to keep on the platform. That's it. They don't want you clicking off. They want you to use the Instagram store, or they want basically you just got to pay now.
Yeah.
Everything's paid, and we noticed that. So early on with Alpha, when we launched those products, it was so effective. Like the revenue on the website was going up month to month. We were like, we're not paying for any advertising. I was doing the Google ads. I was doing the Meta ads, boost post, and it'd work. You'd boost a post and you go, oh, you spent 100 quid and it generated 2 grand in revenue.
Yeah.
Now you throw 100 quid at a Meta post, you get like 6 quid back.
No one
the
is
ROI is
like,
completely pointless.
Let's
And
boost them.
what we found is as well that most agencies are absolutely full of crap. Oh,
Apart
please.
from Rainy City.
Oh, definitely. But it's
Let's not make sweeping statements.
it's a blended ROAS, and Apple won't share the data with us. So even though it's saying 3.6 return on ad spend, you probably got a 10. I can't work off fucking probably. Like, and
No.
you'd be spending 20 grand a month on Meta ads. And so what you find is as well, these platforms, they love to attribute all the sales to them. So let's say, for example, you do 50 grand a month in revenue. Klaviyo saying they did 20, Meta saying they did 20, Google saying they did 20. It's like, where's more over 10 grand?
Yeah.
They all claim everything.
And then Shopify will tell you something else.
Yeah, and then Shopify tells you
GA
something
will
else.
be something different
And you're like,
as well.
oh, well, I didn't even turn over that much money, so how can the math
coming
doesn't
from?
math?
Yeah.
So I think it's a very tricky ship. It's to navigate it now is so tough.
And what are your thoughts on like community? Like, I think that's like a newer buzzword now that's being like used a lot by like e-com brands and people trying to like build it more.
Run clubs and
well, that's where we are going to start using a lot more of the marketing budgets, and not necessarily expos, which are a big sunk cost. Before you can get there, you might have spent on an average size stand, your floor space, your stand build, your logistics, travel, hotel, food.
Yeah, so we've done a few gym meetups now, haven't we?
We can do, so we've done gym takeovers. We get everyone in, Eddie's in there moving around.
Give away merch, give away clothing, samples.
And do you get the same people showing up at these types of things, or is it attracting like new customers?
A mix, so we've got a good group of people that have been with us from the start, and then we've got new guys coming along, and it depends where we do the gym takeover. You'll get a crowd that follows us there, and then you get local people joining in.
We have a few
because then you get that interaction nobody gets anymore.
A few videographers, some people taking pictures, they provide social content, and
so we're organising a big barbecue at the moment.
Oh,
Beast
nice.
Barbecue.
That'd be good.
Yeah, like a smokehouse.
American Smokehouse. You can get get your affiliates there, get the guys that are promoting the products, invite your top customers.
Yeah. It's a way of like it's a way of like giving back essentially, but also giving you some more exposure and content.
Yeah, I think these days now, like people don't go to pubs anymore. People aren't as social. Like when we were young, it was like every weekend you go out.
Yeah.
Now no one goes out, and I think having this like sense of community and this sense of belonging with a brand. I think it's
the gym now, unless you're still going to work at a place every day and you're not working from home, the gym might be the only place you actually regularly interact with people.
Yeah.
For most young people now.
Like for true. A long time, the only people we saw apart from our partners was each other. Mm-hmm. 2 people in an office, because we don't have, like, your wife will come home from work or your partner will come home from work and they're like, oh, this happened today, and this person.
Yeah.
She'd be like, oh, how's your day? I'll be like, office
no office gossip. There's 2 of
you. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's one of the hard things about entrepreneurship as well. Like, it's pretty lonely.
Well, you've got like, I mean, you're lucky in a way, or unlucky in a way, that there's like so many of you all involved in this project. Like, how does that, like, what's that dynamic like though? I could never. I'm like solo founder, and I don't know if I could cope.
It's not until you get.
I've done it, but I struggled when we first started working together. Obviously, it'd been a one man. Just me for 3 years, pretty much. I did have another business partner, but that's a long story.
That's for another day.
Yeah. But you do have to let things go. But if you don't, you're never going to get anywhere. Yeah. But also, that's the con, if you look at it as a con. But the pro is that you share the burden a lot as well.
Yeah, and the ideas.
I remember working in my spare bedroom, being very, very ill. Both ends, I'll leave it at that. And I had eBay orders at the time. I was doing all the eBay orders at cost. I was doing like 100 eBay orders a day. And trying to pack them in my bedroom, and I was like on and off. It was not good. It was, but no one else is going to do it.
No,
and if I don't meet the dispatch time by 1 o'clock this afternoon, my metrics on eBay are going to go. I'm going to get 100 late dispatched, and I can't afford that. So you have to get as soon as there was 2 of us. Not that we've ever had a day off, but if one of us needed it, the other one can pick up. And then as you get a bigger team, and like it does make a big difference.
Yeah.
There's downsides to it because the bigger the team goes, like now we can't move as fast as we would have done when it was just 2 of us.
Mm-hmm.
You do have to speak.
That's what I was going to say, like, especially like with big decisions and things. Does anyone kind of like take the lead and be like, no, this is definitely what we're doing, or is it always got to be?
Yeah, especially now because
unanimous.
All the sales, it's not even products, it's sales channels. Where do we allocate resources?
Marketing spend.
Because all the sales channels are doing really well. Not to blow our own trumpet, every sales channel is performing. Yeah. But it could all do with more resources. It could all do with more ad spend. They could all benefit from more products. But what people underestimate as well is the pressure on cash, stock. Because you build up all this momentum on Amazon, you optimize it. If you go out of stock for a few weeks, you're down the rankings, you lose your algorithm. Yeah. You might have lost months' worth of investment. If you're going to take the time and money to invest in something on Amazon, don't be running out of stock.
No.
And that's hard when you've got
I think people underestimate inventory, and
especially if your sales are growing and you may be in single-digit margins, and Amazon are keeping a week's worth of cash flow, and your lead times might be 3 months. Depends where your product's coming from. If you're ordering your product from China and you're ordering it 3 months ahead, and paying for it in advance,
Yeah.
And then you're not getting paid for
and
that.
then in 2 weeks, China shuts down for 6 weeks for Chinese New Year. So you've got to factor that in.
Yeah.
So you've got to order more stock and more. So like
Everyone's fighting for resources, and it's not like none of them.
Matter, but you just got to.
It's not like none of them are bad ideas. It's like
Yeah.
we're between the 5 of us, 6. Well, and then the employees. We've got the Amazon account manager. We've got the marketing manager now. She's got ideas for marketing projects. The Amazon account manager. She wants to launch a new product on Amazon, or she wants to expand into new territories or new flavors.
But it's
That's
like
low
stock
hanging
is
fruit.
the-
You've got an ASIN that's already performing. You add a third flavor. It's like, but constantly picking where you're going to get the best ROI.
DTC Live On Air is powered by Bright Pill by Sage. Would you say the barrier to entry is easier or harder now than what it was when
On
you
Amazon
guys
or in
started?
general?
Just in general, like e-com business.
I think it's easier,
The apps and the software you've got now.
but I think it's harder. There's so much competition. Like Amazon now, to sell on Amazon, you need a limited company. You need a registered address. You need certificates for
There's
your
definitely a lot of
products. You
bureaucracy.
need proof of where they've come from and supply chain. And there's a lot of hoops to jump through now. Which means you could just sell on Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got some books I want to sell, like which is where it started.
Yeah.
But that's for our business model. It doesn't necessarily apply to all business models.
Yeah.
Like we're in Gran Canaria with jewellery brands. You don't have to buy 10,000 units from China
No.
and put them on a container. You can start with one. You don't necessarily have to be on Amazon. You can be on Shopify. You can have one product, one unit if you want to.
I know a lot of brands
Shout
do.
about it all over Instagram until you sell that one little piece of jewellery.
Yeah.
And then you make 2 more pieces of jewellery. You don't have to start with a huge amount of resources. Just be realistic about what you...
And I think as well, a lot of people these days, they see Gymshark, they see Young LA, they see Able, Adanola, all these brands that have kind of come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
You think they've come out of nowhere, but Gymshark was founded in 2012.
And a lot of them were started by 2 or 3 of the same people.
In a
who were
bedroom.
just repeating the same
Repeating the
formula.
same stuff. Like Able is the Gymshark founder, Louis Morgan, who founded
Manière
Manière
Devoir.
Devoir. So, and Reece Edgerton, which he's in Able with Lewis. But then his girlfriend's got another brand, which is, you'll probably know it, Tala.
Tala. Grace Beverley.
Yeah, but they've
kind of figured out.
They did 23 million revenue last year, but lost 3 million.
Amazing story.
But they already had the knowledge from previous. Lewis started Gymshark in 2012. He's got 14 years of experience doing Facebook, Google, supply chain, materials, product, sold out of Gymshark for whatever millions. You start with capital. It's a much more successful, similar timeline as what we've done.
Yeah.
You started bootstrapping from the beginning like they did with Gymshark, got some money, started something else. Now Able, he's probably where, in a year, got to where Gymshark took 5 years to get to.
Yeah, because they've taken all them learnings
and they had the money.
applied 'em.
But I think a lot of
I think
people...
it's easier in general.
Yeah, I think it is easier in general, but a lot of people see these unicorns and
Yeah.
assume that's the normal. For every one Gymshark, there's 10,000 failures. We've seen hundreds of sports brands and nutrition brands and clothing brands pop up and fail in our industry over the years. Thousands of them. Oh, whatever happened to that nutrition brand? Oh yeah, they must have gone bump. Whatever happened to that clothing brand? They must have gone bump. I think people see these, like I said, they see the unicorns and think, oh, it's dead easy this.
I do think there has to be like now for a new brand to start, like some level of knowledge on like the newer platforms to master.
Definitely.
Like I think it's harder now, like for us to try and master new platforms and tools when it's not something that we've grown up with or actively use in the way that like the Gen Zs are using it. Like, and I think like you either need to have someone on your team or someone that can help drive them. Like it just doesn't seem like as easy to learn new channels and efforts anymore.
Like we've grown with Amazon and eBay and Shopify for the
least. Amazon management wasn't a profession until, 5 years ago maybe?
Yeah. So, like, I built the first Shopify website, and like I said, it was super simple back then. There was like 5 themes to choose from.
Yeah.
And you just clicked and whatever. Now it's a bit more complicated. But even though it's a lot more complicated than when I started, you kind of just grown with it. Mm-hmm. Same with Amazon. Amazon's 10 times more complicated than when we started it.
Yeah.
But we've just grown with it. But now for someone starting fresh at Amazon, it must seem daunting.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's so much stuff. But you kind of just... Like, for me, we do TikTok. I ain't got a fucking clue about TikTok. Because I'm too old for it. Well, in my head, I'm too old for it. but it's run by 15-year-olds and 20-year-olds and young people are doing £1 million a month.
And I think that's why we just don't throw a lot of resources at it. We've got young members of staff in the mid-20s, but the owners, the guys running it, for our faults, we're in our late 30s, we're guys. We don't understand TikTok. Is it where we're going to spend a lot of resources at the moment? We understand how
we've tried.
You have to realise what you understand.
And what like your strengths are as well, yeah.
Yeah, like there's brands like P. Louise who just kill it on TikTok.
But they're probably
Absolutely
not
kill it.
committing a lot of resources to Amazon. Is that how many sales channels can you manage responsibly
and effectively?
Yeah, with like a not endless budgets, like you said, and not a huge amount of resource.
Do you do 2 sales channels really well, or do you do 6 half-assed?
Yeah.
So you're limited by resource eventually. I mean, we've noticed since we've launched Beast, like when my brother was still involved in Alpha, there was 3 of us to spread the burner, and then Mark moved back to Egypt and we carried on. But us 2 did everything. But now when we launched Beast, we had a graphic designer and a social media manager who was kind of one job from day one. But then that freed us up to other things, and she can do that much better than we can. And having that resource available, oh, Abby, can you just do this for me? And then like 20 minutes later, she sent me the updated catalogue.
But not that I'm trying to make Abby unemployed, because we love Abby, but AI. Like, we couldn't, when 10 years ago, we needed a graphic. I was on Paint, like, changing stuff. Now you can generate, not to
but then
anyone for going into graphic design, but...
No, but there's going to have to be a shift now in skill sets of people that have, like, you know, like I wouldn't recommend my son to like train in a job now that can be done something by a tool.
Or will be by the time you can qualify and become proficient at it.
Yeah.
So we discussed this kind of on the drive in. It was like 21 starting a business, now he's got like a 5 or 10 year plan. 2 years ago, AI was nothing. Now it's the buzzword on everything. Everything's got AI. Your washing machine now with integrated AI. Oh, fuck off. But it's just, and look how quick the landscape's changed in 2 years. Like now I can just chat to my Shopify store. Hi Shopify, how many units of X have I sold in the last 30 days?
And you don't need to be able to code
this. And I'm like, you don't need to be able to code. And you can just copy the code that Shopify's created badly, because their AI chatbots are not very good, into ChatGPT. ChatGPT fix it, you paste it back in your Blockworks. So
I'd say maybe, it's easy to say less opportunities, there probably isn't. It feels like it.
No, I think it's like
But
it's
one
how you
person
utilise
is so much
it.
more resourceful now than one person ever was 15 years ago. And things like Shopify Collective, that's coming along now. Do you need your own big range of products? Or can you just, is dropshipping coming back?
Is this the new version of
Is this new version? Do you just need now a nice front end?
we've already called it, Shopify just can become Amazon.
Does it go full circle? Shopify.com.
5 years in Shopify.com, you go on there, I want something from Gymshark.
Well, they've done it already in a bit like with the shop app, haven't they? Like they've tried that as like that's
like
probably like the
a pilot kind of.
Hey,
seeing how it works.
We get quite a lot of sales through Shop. I've got the app, but I don't really use it.
No.
It's a bit annoying actually sometimes, because I get like a tracking update for something like if you sell something on Vinted, for example, for some reason Shop says your item's been delivered, and it's like I've not what, but it's the other way around. So it's a bit glitchy, but I think anyone starting something now is.
What do you think? You're more involved. You speak to other founders more than we do. Do you think it's getting easier or harder?
I think it depends. Like, I think age plays into it now. Like, I think
how comfortable are you?
Yeah, like how can you differentiate yourself? Like, what do you know more about certain channels? I think there's so many different ways. Like, I think it's definitely harder in a way because there is so much more competition. Yeah. There's so many goalposts that you've got to hit. Like, success is measured in different ways now as well. Like, we're looking at like reach, like how many people can we acquire customers cheaply. Like, you've got to have like knowledge on, especially as a startup now, like you can't afford agencies straight away. Like, you've got to know all these channels, you've got to do them well and still make all the decisions like, that business owners got to make. It's tough
without using an agency. Like trying to run your Meta ads or your Google ads now,
it'd be so difficult.
Like I said, when we started, I used to run the Google campaigns,
and it was so cheap easy. As well, wasn't it?
We spend a lot of our time on doing it as well, same with Amazon. But as the business grows and you have to start doing more HR, more admin, then you're taking your eye off the ball. And if you're not spending 90% of your day on Amazon, you're not going to be an expert, or you're not going to be as good as the guy that's spending 100% of his day on Amazon.
Yeah.
That's when founders have to think, do I need to outsource this?
It's like, how do you navigate that?
And we're doing it differently now than we would do if we were one man in our bedroom. Because when we sat down to discuss Beast and the project, it's like, this can't be small, because it's already there's 5 of us involved.
Yeah.
Eddie's done very well for himself. He's not doing it. It's not about the money, but
it's not a hobby.
It's not going to be a hobby. It's not going to be a side project. He wants this to be a big business. He wants this to be something he can pass on to his kids. We can all pass on to our kids. We can all build something.
Yeah.
So we knew we had to go fast. We knew we had to be mass market, but so that doesn't necessarily apply to someone who's got a nice little niche product with a good margin and can make a good living.
Yeah, like we've both got mortgages in kids.
TikTok.
And I think there's a lot of risk involved. Like when we started, we had no kids. You had a small mortgage. You had no real responsibilities. So it was kind of easy to do stuff. We could work 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
We spent 7 days a week, 12 hours a day building our first shop. We went and got a drill and some plasterboard and thought, right, let's put a wall up there. Do you know how to build a wall? Nope. Let's see what happens and build a wall. So we built a wall. Now, this morning before I came here, I was running around getting my kids ready. My wife has an hour commute, so she was leaving the house like 10 to 8. So getting a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old ready to drop off at my mum's so she could take them to school before I could even come to work. Whereas if I didn't have kids, you wouldn't have any of that. And when you see all this, if you're going to start a business, I think you need to do it young before you have any real responsibility, because once you start getting mortgages and kids,
it's hard.
It's 10 times harder, and you don't want to take the risk because it's like people rely on me. I've got people to support, like, and taking a punt on something and it not working, it's a massive risk.
Yeah.
Like now, our risks are a bit more calculated because you've got a lot more to lose.
And it's not even just about like the time. It's like when you've got such a short window when you've got kids to actually do the work, and then when you're with them, it's like you want to be present, like you want to be there, you want to be like not on your phone like trying to do it. So your day is immediately shorter than someone that's
like,
got.
I've had to put my phone on Do Not Disturb now from 8 p.m. It automatically goes on to Do Not Disturb, so I get no notifications.
Yeah.
Until 6:30 in the morning, because you never turn off.
No.
Like,
but you wouldn't have that luxury if you started again.
Like our friend group, they all have traditional jobs, doctors, so on, accountants, things like that. People that hire end up in multinationals and stuff. And we always get, it's kind of a bit of a running joke that we don't do anything, but we never turn off. I might be in the office for 4 hours. I might get to the office at 10 o'clock, train, answer my emails, leave at 2 to go and pick the kids up or whatever. But we're still chatting at 7 o'clock at night, or on the weekend, or on a Saturday. Or Alex, the CEO, might email me on Boxing Day, I've just noticed it's broken on the side, do you mind fixing it?
Yeah, it sounds cheesy, but it's definitely not a job, it's a life.
Yeah.
It sounds cheesy. It does, it sounds like that.
It does as well, but it's true though, because you're probably saying with you, you're always thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like,
and it creeps into like your day-to-day life, like your relationship, like it's always there.
Always there. You can't just clock out at 5 o'clock.
No.
Like, you're just constantly thinking of stuff, constantly on your phone, constantly getting notifications, constantly getting emails.
But then everyone lives on the phone anyway, so you might as well get stuck in and run a business and do something productive.
Then just start doing
doom scrolling, yeah.
But brain rot. Start a business. What have you got to lose?
What's next for you for the company then? Like what is like the next goal? Like what, or even like the short term for this year? Like what do you want to achieve still?
Again, it's one of those. It doesn't matter how many resources you've got. It's always going to be stretched because we're coming up on the 2.5 years point since we launched now. So although we're doing new products, the original products that we launched with, they're getting not stale. They still hold up. The formulas are still amazing, but the sports nutrition category changes a lot. Especially your big brands like Applied Nutrition,
stuff like that.
It's a new flavour every day. It's new products every day. Trying to keep up. You don't have to, and no one's expecting you to. But the pace of when you look around the competition, the pace that they reiterate and do new versions, and it's like, there's still some product niches we've not done. We want to do more high protein foods. That's a big area I want to move into. Functional foods. Yeah. At the end of the day, sports nutrition, it's a luxury. It's not. It's a lot more mass market than it used to be. It's a lot more mainstream than it used to be, but it's still a luxury product. There's not many people that would consider it an essential item.
Yeah, so we kind of want to tap into people's grocery budget.
But everyone has to buy food.
So we're looking at developing.
So we launched our biltong 18 months ago. That's done really well.
Yeah, it's nice. Tried it.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we want to build on that really, but it's not easy because a lot of functional sports protein bar, if you look at what's in them, they're not health foods.
Oh, they're crap, aren't they?
So we could have done a protein bar 2 years ago. We could have had a protein bar on day one. Could we get behind it and really sell it? No.
Yeah, so
but developing one takes time, so all those things are going on in the background.
Yeah, we want to get more products. We want to build like a line of products that we can get to supermarkets.
Yeah.
So we're working on a few little projects now that are less sports nutrition and more
Because it is
functional foods, but Applied have just launched ready meals, and I don't know if you've seen it or not, but they've launched in Morrison's.
The two are already merging. Sports nutrition is coming together with mainstream nutrition. Like you see creatine in more and more consumer products in the supermarket.
Yeah, like
everything's high protein now.
Yeah, and your 60-year-old mother-in-law messages you going, should I take creatine? It's like, that's what it was reserved for bodybuilders 10 years ago.
You might see that. I think that's a massive opportunity for what used to be a small business. Is now this huge consumer market for food is opening up to these small little sports nutrition brands. But now you're potentially competing against the Goliaths of the industry. Your Danones, your Nestle's, your Mars, your Mondelez. They're already making all the food. Now they just have to make it.
Well, then you think
they just have to pivot what they're doing as well.
I remember a few years ago, so they launched a Snickers and Mars protein powder, and we were like, so many people screwed there, and it flopped. They launched a Snickers protein bar, absolutely flopped. You buy them for 50p now from B&M. And it's like, how? Why? Why did Snickers, probably the best-selling confectionery in history, launch a protein bar and it not work?
Yeah, we always kind of assumed when the big boys got in on it,
it's game over.
It's game over.
It's like, why did it not work?
And what do you think it is?
I'm sure they're generating a lot of sales.
I actually don't know. They didn't taste very good. Well, no, they tasted all right.
They are pretty fussy with stuff like that. They were all right.
They just didn't. It just didn't. I don't know. I honestly, I
think you just ticked a box from. They're like, let's do a high protein version. It wasn't.
They were expensive.
It was just
but again, I think a lot of people try to get into the fitness and sports nutrition industry without really understanding it.
Yeah, just like
and it's quite finicky.
Someone's had an idea and
it attracts a lot of cowboys.
So I think we just want to build on what we've got.
Credibility, really, and sustainable
focusing on
business.
Customer acquisition now rather than that's our main.
That's your main goal.
We'll focus on building the mailing list, which people massively underestimate. That's so important.
Yeah.
Products for subscription, optimise that. Bring your ad spend down.
Return customer rate. Like we've just launched a loyalty program where you can trade points that you earn with spend for products that's not available to purchase.
Oh, that's a good way of doing it.
Yeah. Things like tickets. So not yet. The points shop's fairly new, so we're not padded it out yet. But soon will be like tickets to events. We do physical events.
Yeah.
So you can use your points on your website to buy a ticket to the barbecue.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So it's things like that, and I think you need to get a bit more creative with how to keep your customers
100%.
these days, especially.
And it's still early days. Like for the first, it's just 2.5 years now.
Yeah.
Not even that. We launched in September 23. So most of that for the first couple of years just been getting set up and running. Now we've been able to think a bit more.
Well, that's on your website because, again, you say the channels are so different. On Amazon, you get like a 5% return rate on customers because people just buy the cheapest thing or what's on offer or the ad that they've seen. We have quite a few repeat customers on Amazon because you can find out, but more often than not, it's 95% new customers. So you kind of also need to think of a way how to get those people onto your website.
And is your product right for every channel?
No.
Because we were talking about this on the way over, like, we've still got those links to B2B where we used to sell to shops, so we want our products to be available to shops, so you have to have a price point where there's some margin for retailers, but then you also have to be competitive on all your marketplaces, and more they have to be aligned, because Amazon will...
yeah, so Amazon penalise you now. So if you
that's the word.
If you have a retail website selling a product for $34.99 and it's $35.99 on Amazon, you lose the buy box on your own listing because it's cheaper on your website, and they'll tell you, which I'm pretty sure is illegal.
But that impacts the flexibility you have on your website. So if you want to focus on Shopify, and Amazon might be like a nice little 20% on the side, it's 80-20. Like, are you compromising on your Shopify to make Amazon work?
Yeah.
And we're having that conversation now. Like, can you be B2B and B2C anymore, or do you need to pick one?
Yeah. So like when we ever run any offers on our website, we also have to consider the effect on Amazon. Because if we make everything 20% cheaper on the website for 48 hours than on Amazon, we'll lose the buy box, even though we're the only seller.
Yeah.
And it's our product. It just makes it harder because you lose the add to cart button. You have to click into who's selling this product, and then you just get drop-offs at every click.
Massively affects your click-through rate.
But even if you're the only seller.
We're going to have to leave it there.
How did
Thank
we do
you
with the questions? Did we
so much. No, I didn't touch them. But we had a great chat, though. That was
Sure.
brilliant. Yeah. Thank you so much.
I enjoyed it. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. DTC Live On Air is powered by Bright Pill by Sage.